Okay, so here we are logged into the super user admin console of GigarBox Academia. And all Django sites have such an admin console. And basically it allows us to see and manage every object that's stored in the database. And we're going to start this tutorial by using the super user admin console to create an institution account in our system. So an institution account is a user that has something like top level control over an institution. And basically this means that it's able to create other institution users um, called institution admins. So after creating the institution account, we're going to log into it and see this in more detail. So we're going to create this institution account for an institution that we're going to call Hope International College. And the first step to creating this institution account is by creating a user. So we click user, then we click add user, and we'll give the user a username HIC admin, and we'll also give it a password. We're then taken to configure some more details about the user. We'll give this account an email, and most importantly, we're going to check down at the bottom that this user will belong to an institution. So now we've created the user. Next, we're going to create the institution. So click institution, click add institution. Under account, we're going to select the user that we just created, HIC admin. We'll type the name of the institution, Hope International College. We'll give it a school ID, a private ID, a phone number, and a location. I previously added Hope International College as a location into the database, so that's why it's available right now. We'll also give it a license expiration date. Now, other than account and institution name, none of the other fields are actually relevant and are being used in the app. So they might actually be gotten rid of. But anyways, we're gonna hit save and finish the creation of our institution account. So let's log into it. From the home page of the app, we can log into our institution account. The first page that you see when logged in is the admin manager page. This page will list all of the admins for the institution and allow us to create or delete an admin user for the institution. The next page available to us is the documents manager page. This page will list all of the documents that are being stored by the institution. It will also allow us to filter documents by certain fields. The institution account has the ability to view but not create documents. We'll see that the institution admins that the institution account creates have the ability to create documents. The last page available to us is the request manager page, and this page will list all the open requests for documents that have been made by students. So currently only the institution account is the one that is able to serve requests, not the institution admins. This is somewhat unintuitive, and it should probably be changed later. Um, but anyways, let's go ahead and create an admin user. So to create an admin for the institution, we navigate back to the admin manager page. Clicking add admin brings up a modal, and this allows us to create a new user for the institution. So now let's create an admin for Hope International College. We'll give them a name, an email, a username, a password, and also a staff ID. So we now see this user has populated into the list of admins. So let's log out of the Hope International College institution account and log into this new admin account. So now from the home page, we'll log into the new admin account. The first page we see is the document manager page, and this is the only page available to the institution admin user. So as I mentioned before, unlike the institution account, this institution admin account has this button here for adding documents. So let's add a document. To add a document, we first specify various metadata details about the document, including details about the student, the document name, the document type, the academic year and semester, and we currently have three document types that can be added. These are transcripts, exam results, and certificates. So when finished with these metadata details, we upload the file and click the yellow upload button. This is going to send the file to IPFS. Currently, we're using the IPFS public network, but we'd like to move over to our own private IPFS network at some point. So anyways, what's going to happen now is that IPFS hashes the document, and we're going to take this hash and create a QR code from it. We're going to use that QR code and stamp the document with the QR code. We call this QR code the GigarBox fingerprint. And then we're going to send that fingerprinted document back to IPFS to be stored. So we're storing two documents on IPFS. So after uploading the document, we'll be kicked back to the document manager page where we will now see the documents list populated with the document that we just uploaded. We see a marker beside it that says processing, and this indicates that the document is being processed by IPFS in the background. So after waiting a little while and refreshing the page, we'll see that the processing is finished and the processing marker is replaced with a details button, which we can click and view all the details of the document. So other than the metadata details of the document, which we already provided, we see two IPFS hashes, one for the original document and one for the fingerprinted document. Now, you might be wondering why these hashes don't begin with QM, and that's because we've done some scrambling of the bits of the IPFS hash, and this is to make it a bit more difficult for the document to be forged or grabbed directly from the IPFS network. So we don't want a user to be able to calculate the hash of a record and then go ahead and grab it directly from IPFS. Anyways, when we click the download button, a request is made to IPFS to fetch the GigarBox document and download it through the browser. So here's the official GigarBox document. We note that it's stamped with the GigarBox fingerprint, which as we discussed is simply the hash of the original document. So this hash you see here in the metadata details is actually encoded onto the GigarBox fingerprint that you see here in the stamped document. So now that we've seen how to add a document onto GigarBox, we want to see the process of requesting a document. Students request documents by accessing the home page of the app and clicking the Request Document button. First, the student will fill in some details about his or herself. Then they'll finish by filling out some details about the document that they are requesting for. After clicking Submit, the request will now be sent to the institution account. This will dispatch two emails. The first email is to the student, and this is simply a confirmation that the request has been received by the institution and will be processed soon. The second email is to the institution account user's email, and it lets them know that a request has been made by the student, and it provides a link for directly managing the request. So instead of clicking this link, we're going to actually log back into the institution account portal and see what happens in the request manager page. So in the request manager, we see the request that the student just made has populated into the list of open requests. We see the ID that was generated for the request, and we also see a button to manage this request. And this button takes us to the request details page. The request details page has two sections. The first is for the request details, which displays all the information about the student and the requested document. The second is the document lookup section, and this is composed of a list of documents stored by the institution and a filter tool for filtering through these documents by the given request details. Now we only have one document in the system right now, and we know that this is the record being requested, so we can click the checkbox beside this document and then the green send button at the bottom right, and this will dispatch the document to be sent to the student. Basically what the system is going to be doing is we're going to pull the IPFS document to our server and then generate a link which the student can use to download the document from our server. And we do this rather than giving the student a link to the IPFS gateway, so things are a bit more in-house. Now, after clicking the green Send button, we're kicked out to the Request Manager page. In the request list, we see our request status is now being indicated as sending. This means that the document is being grabbed to the server and an access link is being prepared to send to the student's email. If we refresh the page, we see that the request is now gone, as it has now been served. So now the email address that the student provided will receive an email from GigarBox which says document access granted. And it comes with a one-time access link to download the GigarBox document. And clicking it will furnish the record for us, like so. So now that we have the record, let's talk about the most important aspect of GigarBox, which is the ability to verify the authenticity of a document. In the app, we have tools for verifying the authenticity of a given GigarBox record. They work generally by analyzing the QR code or the GigarBox fingerprint on the document. If the hash on the fingerprint is found to be associated with a document that we have stored on IPFS, we will use this hash to pull the document from IPFS and display it to the user. In this way, the user can verify that his or her document is identical to the record which is immutably stored on IPFS. Records can be verified in two ways, and the first is by uploading a PDF document. The user starts by choosing the file he wishes to verify, and then he clicks the Verify Document button. And what's going to go on behind the scenes is that the file is going to be analyzed for its QR code or its GigarBox fingerprint. And after decoding this fingerprint, we'll determine whether or not the hash is associated with the file which we've stored. After clicking the Verify Document button, we're going to be presented with a page letting us know that the hash on the document is associated with the record that we have stored. And it's going to prompt us to click the button that says View Original Document. Behind the scenes, the record will be fetched from IPFS and displayed to the user, like so. The second way to verify the authenticity of a document is to scan the QR code of the document using the camera on your device. When the hash is decoded from the QR code fingerprint, the system will immediately determine whether it is a valid hash and quickly pull the file from IPFS if it is. Here's a demonstration. So in a nutshell, this is the entire app. Thank you for watching.